So now you're sitting at Port Authority in that Dunkin' Donuts, or just sitting outside at the bus station, waiting, and you have no one to talk to except your doubt. There's no one to talk to except your doubt, and that's where you pay the price, where you can prove to the gods of opportunity that you are deserving of the blessing of the next opportunity, is when your doubt get a good 4-hour audience with you.
Welcome to For the Record, a casual, mostly unedited conversation series presented by Grainmap, where we speak with music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. I'm your host, McKeegan Voice.
On episode 61, I spoke with Kane Mayfield. Kane's a visionary artist who has successfully bridged the worlds of hip-hop, digital innovation, and Web3 technology. With roots in Long Island, New York, and a decade-long stint in Baltimore that shaped his musical career, Kane has emerged as a multifaceted creator whose work spans traditional rap, cutting-edge NFTs, and groundbreaking audio experiments. We went way back, and we resurrected some never-before-heard tales, and we looked deep into the art of music and what it means to make it, to release it, and to reckon with the woes of self-doubt. Hope you enjoy.
Well, Kane, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you again. The article was very nice. I tune in and out when I'm talking, so I forgot half of what I said, but I always mean what I say. So if I ever re-see it, I'm just like, oh, well, yeah, I do mean that. That's good. Yeah, it sounds like me too. That's good.
Yeah, there were some good quotes in there, I thought. No, I mean, I enjoyed writing it. I think it's a really incredible project, and I would love to dive into that in a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
But before then, I would like to start at the beginning and just get a sense of you and your story, you know, where you grew up and when your relationship with music started.
I guess as far as making it, it began in high school, but like it's funny because I was just talking about this, late last night, early this morning with someone, and it's like lyrics have been a primary focus since I was a kid. Like, I grew up in a very Guyanese household in a very West Indian neighborhood. So in Long Island. So I had an accent till I was 5. Like, if you think of someone who's like Greek parents, grows up in a Greek neighborhood, you grow up speaking Greek. You grow up, that's native, that's what you speak, that's what your parents speak, it's
Sure.
what the neighbors' kids, everyone speaks the same language. So I didn't know I had an accent till I went to school. But I guess aside from that, lyrics were important. So Sunday we cleaned the house. That was just Sundays, you clean the house. And my mom will stop me and grab my arm and say, "You hear what he say?" And it'll be like Bob Marley redemption song or something. And it's like, you have to know what someone's saying. Like, the quality of a song wasn't dictated by how much people danced to it. It was dictated by how much the lyrics were impactful. So like, there's that part of it, I guess. And then, you grow up with dance hall, and I grew up with rap. So like, I didn't, that wasn't it. That wasn't like I found rap later in life and said, I think this is the poetry of the streets. I want to know what John Everyman's thinking. Nah, I grew up with rap as rap's evolving. I'm 43. I think I'm 43 now. I don't know how old I am. My wife reminds me, but I'm pretty sure I'm 43. And I grow up in, the late 80s is my childhood. So I'm hearing Big Daddy Kane and Kool G Rap and Rakim and Poor Righteous Teachers and Nice and Smooth. And I hear these guys. And the greatest sign of being into that, if you're into, certain artists or whatever, the words.
Mm-hmm.
So words were kind of paramount for me. So I always, even to this day, I know the words. That's how I know it's good. Or I want to know the words. That's how I know I really like it. So between that and wanting to own it on vinyl. So then I started rapping when I was in high school with my cousins, and we got it's interesting because I was stealing Canibus's rhymes which is a funny story just to tell very quickly. I didn't know how to rap. I didn't rap. I had no, I rapped like favorite songs of mine, but I didn't rap. Like I didn't write my own songs. So my cousin rapped, and he rapped very well. Still to this day, better than me. And there's this cipher, at school. It happens, every couple days, or in the lunchroom or after school, and it was a really big deal. And I just would go to the city because the city is far. We're way out east in Long Island, so you go to New York City, it's a trip. It's like we live 2.5 hours one way by train. Like Long Island is New York, and it looks close on a map, but where I lived was very far, especially when you're a kid. You ain't riding your bike to the city.
Right.
So go to the city, get some mixtapes early before everyone else because it takes time to get out there, memorize stuff quickly, spit it in the cipher, and stop using it well before anyone is the wiser. Because then, this isn't like iPhones. No one's recording you. This is the 90s, the early 90s. Or the mid 90s. And I was taking like Canibus freestyles or whatever. And then one day the Spanish kid, Ricky, caught me. He was like, that's shit. And I remember to this day, I still have nightmares about it. Because if you know him, by the way, tell him I said go fuck himself. I still hate that shit. I don't care if I was wrong. He was none of your business. He was just like, that's I remember his fucking Spanish finger just gyrating at me as he outed me, destroying all of my credibility. And my cousin was just like, word? You still cannabis and shit? I was like, yeah. You didn't know that? He's like, nah, but he knew. He was complicit. He was just doing what a co-defendant does, which is deny everything.
Sure.
But yeah, so then he's like, why don't you just write your own rhymes? You have like the mind for it, or write your rhymes. And I didn't know what he meant, but I have the mind for like nuance. Nuance makes me comfortable. And I started writing, but my friends are dicks. So like that's kind of another reason why I rap the way I do. My friends were all dicks. So you start off whack. Everyone starts off whack. Just really just terrible at it. I'm the Captain Light Planet, the Granite, Man of Steel, and Steve's rhymes are the Riz. Fucking it's really bad. And then you get into the part where you start saying shit because it sounds good, but it doesn't make any sense. Like my hypothesis is metabolic conference. And I remember we were in lunch, and Jose just turns to me. He's like, "What the fuck is a metabolic conference? And why are you having a hypothesis about it?" And I was like, "What? What?" And then my cousin's trying to defend me. He's like, "No, that makes sense. What he's saying is like, he's like, shut up, yo. That don't make no sense." And from then, everything I said was destined to be broken down sentence by sentence, line by line, by these dickheads with nothing better to do. So I began, it's almost like you don't take nothing personally because your parents insult you all the time. You know what I mean? Like the world can't hurt you if your parents were really mean.
Right.
I'm from a musical place where we're very competitive, we're very combative, and everything you say is on trial. So I began densely packing these like surprises into my rhymes, but I don't think no one's gonna find them because like at this point, no one's breaking down. I would love for someone to do what they used to do. I put stuff in there just to be found, but the journey takes you to a place where it's like, and then I get signed to a label in 2008 in Baltimore, and I wasn't rapping. I wasn't gonna be a rapper. I'm a mortgage broker at that point, and it's like, hey, why don't you do an EP? I'm like, what's an EP? And he's like, it's like you would consider it like a short mixtape, like a mini album, like 7-8 songs. The hell for? To get out there. Isn't that what you're trying to do? Get people to hear your music? I was like, I got a mortgage. You fucking crazy? No. Don't care about none of that shit. It's all make-believe. I'm a child. I'm a grown-up with a mortgage and bills. I pay taxes. I have a homeowners association that's very upset with me. And he's like, well, what are you doing this for? And I was like, I just rap for therapy. I just rap, and then I sent it to my cousins. And the guy who ended up being my producer and ended up being like the head of my label, and the guy who, my brother, Headphones, he said, well, if you don't want to do it because you just think it's dumb and you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you don't want to do it because you don't think you're good enough, I'm telling you, you're good enough. And he was right. I didn't think I was good enough because early on when we were still in high school, we got signed. Well, there was 3 of us. It's me and my 2 cousins. And they signed us kind of as a group. But when we were there at Street Dream Studios, they were like, yeah, you 2, not him. and I'm the him.
No.
And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah. So we're gonna sign you to not that guy. So listen, guys, but we have an idea for your album. And I'm like, well, we're not gonna go for that, are we, fellas? And they're like, yeah, we are 100% gonna go. And I said, well, this is bullshit. And years later, my cousin's like, what was wrong with you? You would have been on all the songs anyway, and you would have ended up just getting a deal later, like probably a better deal. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you're thinking like a grown up, sure. But at the time, you all should have stood with me in solidarity. And he's like, yeah, that's mad retarded. And I was like, yeah, that would have been very stupid of you, because I just didn't like the way it felt. So I just figured they're better rappers than me. They got a deal. I didn't. I should get a job, and I became a stockbroker. And that's just kind of how my path went. But he saw something in me, and there was 2 other artists on the label, Midas and Ron, and they were both like supposed to be rappers. I'm a fraud. I'm a finance guy that raps on the side. I'm not a real MC. Like I'm skilled. Like I can rhyme, but I can't make songs. I never had to. I don't know how to write a hook or a bridge. I don't even know what a bridge is. It's like a second hook that goes at the end, I guess, or whatever. And they're like, we'll write a song. So I would just write a long ass song and break it into 3 parts. And that's why the second verse sounds like it's the end of the first verse. It was just one long ass rhyme. So they had to teach me how to be a musician, which was harder than you think, especially since I made 6 figures a year since I was like 17, 18. You can't tell me what I know, because I know it already. I'm not a kid, so delusional dreams of being a star don't work on me. You have to convince me that this isn't all fake. So convincing me to be a rapper was, we were on tour, like for the 3rd time, to some college, Guilford College in North Carolina, before I was like, man, this is like I'm a real rapper or something. And then like the engineer's like, are you fucking kidding me still? And Dwayne's like, in headphones, he's like, he don't believe none of this. You got to give him time. If you force him, he's going to just rebel against it. He'll feel like you're trying to con him. And he said, they're singing your song. I'm like, so what? Like anybody, you pay people to do that. I just didn't believe it. Because why would it be me? So that kind of goes, and Dwayne always said it's going to be you. The other 2 guys, they had all the tools, but you're the dark horse. You're the one that no one can really figure out. It's going to be you. And I was like, I don't make as good of songs as them. He's like, you can learn how. So that he worked with me, and I learned how. And then certain things that he said were going to happen happened. He's like, Midas wants to be a star. A star. Like he wants the lights and the paparazzi and things that would revile you. He wants more than anything else. They're going to get in his head, and he's going to go crazy. And I'm like, who? People. Watch. What about Ron? Yeah, Ron writes better songs than you, but Ron also knows he writes better songs than you. Hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. Okay. Sure enough, Ron just stops turning in stuff as much. I always have to rewrite something. I'm always writing. I turn in a record, and he'll go, I'm like, you like it? And he'll go, yeah, I like it. I liked it the first 3 times you made that song. You out of ideas? If you're out of ideas, you should quit. I'll write it again. So I'm always writing, and then I'm always rewriting. So my pen never gets a break. Ron writes whenever he wants, because whatever he turns in is good. He don't have the same rigorous shit as me. Like when he puts his record in, it's like, oh, great song. Me, it's like, fix this, rejected. And I'm just like, and I'm always, but in the fixing, I'm getting better. Midas finds some media people and goes nuts. And then it's just me. And then I have to get a logo, which I still use to this day, the K for Kane, but it's a rewind button. And I go out and I go touring, and he sends me on the road, like by myself for a while. Like he's like, you have a thing that no one knows, and it's you don't even think you have it. That's how good it is. And I'm like, what? Is like, you have a personality. And I was like, oh, all right. He's like, what? I was like, that's like something you say to stupid people or like ugly people. I have a personality. Yeah, I have a personality. Everybody has a personality. He's like, no, rappers don't. They're boring. Like off the mic, they can't talk. They talk good when they're rhyming their words. Outside of that, a lot of them are fucking just like watching paint dry. He's like, you're fun. Go be you. Go to this place and find this writer. So how I ended up getting press. It's funny, even how I'm able to do these, right? One, this takes way less than the music business. In the music business, I know I want Mac Egan to write about me. I need Mac Egan to write about me because in that world, in that time, you're like one of the best pens on a blog site somewhere, like a rap blog like DX or AllHipHop or Two Dope Boys, something like that, right? You're that guy. You're on Nah Right. And I know that if I find you and you like my music, you'll write about me, which means people will know about me because millions of people check these blogs. Well, how do I find you? 1,000 people email you every 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Every 40 minutes, 1,000 people are hitting you up. Every rapper from here to Timbuktu is trying to slide you a mixtape or buy you a bottle or some shit. The only people that stand out are the people who just don't seem to care about none of that shit. And since I don't know nothing, I don't know how to lie, I don't know how to care. So I'll go find you at S.O.B's. You're there to cover something, and I'm there for you. You don't know I'm there for you, but I got a picture of you on my phone, and I'll find you in the crowd, and I'll just strike up conversation. Yeah, it's a good fucking show, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That guy looks like a cartoon of a Mexican penguin. And because that's just how I am. So I'll just be like, I remember the actual show. I don't want to say the writer, but it was at the actual show. It was Lupe Fiasco. And I was like, yo, I love Lupe. And the guy's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, my brother introduced me to his music because he knew I wouldn't listen to it if he told me the name. He's like, why not? I was like, because it sounds like a fucking cartoon cat that's always into mischief. Lupe Fiasco. It sounds ridiculous. You would never correlate that with the name of a dope-ass MC. He's like, it is kind of silly. And me and this person just had a good laugh at the bar. And then I ran into him again by accident in Atlanta. Then I ran into him again by accident in Austin for South by. At this point, yo, bro, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, because I'll see you again and be like, yo, Fiasco, cartoon cat. And you're like, yeah, what's up, man? Hey, who are you, by the way? Oh, I'm Kane. I rap. Oh, cool. I'm so-and-so. Oh, from this fucking thing. Oh, it's dope, man. I love your site. I'm always on there. Oh, cool. But it's just a calm relationship. I'm a fun guy. And I don't want nothing because you ask for advice, you get help. You ask for help, you get advice. So obviously you're an MC. You're in these places. You have to do that work. And some people, your personality just ain't gonna fucking work. They just won't like you, period. Other people, they're only gonna cover you right after it looks like you don't need it. Like as soon as you cross the finish line, bang, there's your article. And you'll go, fucking thanks. Could have used that 3 miles back when I was dying. But that's not the nature of how blessings happen. You just have to do the work and continue doing the work and don't die. Because that's how. So I got press. I was really good at getting press. And then once you got press, you get press. It's like bitches. I hate to say it that way, but girls don't like you unless other girls like you. So once the other girls like you, the girl you want gonna see the other girls like you, and she's gonna be like, what y'all doing with him? And they're like, oh, he's great. You don't know? He's awesome. You ever talk to him? He's fucking great. And it's like, oh, no, I never talked to him. You should, Rich. He's fucking great. You right up his alley, too. Because I'm not a hoe. I'm not for sale. I'm not trying to pay nobody. I'm not asking for something I shouldn't have. I'll say in the midst of a third or fourth meeting, hey, I don't want to be a dick. You mind if I send you my music? At this point, yeah, I'd love to hear from a guy that I've seen 4 times. I'm a little bit higher than the person your editor. I'm a little bit lower than the person your editor wants you to write about. I'm at least intriguing enough to listen. And if someone just goes in with an open ear, if you have good music, it's going to be that. At that point, it's a skill game and it's a spin of the barrel, and we'll see if the right song hits them at the right time. But even when I got not spin, I got Stereo Gum. So Stereo Gum covered me reluctantly. The guy, I was already in spin. Fader was tweeting something, or they something with Fader. I forgot what it was, or I was mentioned or something like. And my project started to get traction, and it was like, "Yo, are you not covering this?" And I did a Thievery Corporation, kind of like not a mashup, but I Thievery Corporation. I took a bunch of their records and I rapped over them without their permission, and they're very litigious. They sue the shit out of everybody. You say thievery, shit's in the mail. It's on its way to you. They're probably suing me right now just for talking about it. But it was spinning, and they're like, "Hey, aren't you from Baltimore?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Don't you think we should cover this?" And I heard later from people who were, that's what happened. It reads like that's what happened. That was the first time I ever got smashed too. His exact words were like Thievery Corporation is something like your college roommate's cousin listens to. And he's like, I live in Baltimore and have never had to put any effort into ignoring Kane Mayfield, and I doubt anyone else has either. And I was like, what the? But he smashed me. He tore them apart. But at the end, it was a good project. So he was like, essentially, peanut butter is stupid. It's sticky and unnecessary. Jelly is retarded. I don't know why anyone likes it, but I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and it was the best thing ever. So it was one of those. But you get your bones and you do your thing. The media gives you presence. Presence gives you notoriety. Notoriety will open a door or two, but everything else is going to be footwork. You got to spill blood into the sand and make mud of it. And there's no one who can do that for you. There's people who can, but if you really could fast forward and Marty McFly it, you don't want them to. Anyone who can plug your lamp in can unplug it. Anyone can put you on, like Drake's going through that right now. You never paid the iron price for it. So no matter how many favors you do, you're never really a part of the club. Not for real. Not like people who they saw bleed for it the way they did. It's a fraternity. No, I got spanked on the ass and had to eat the goldfish and indulge in some mild homoerotica. You got to get spanked on the ass and eat the goldfish. Hey, no, I saw that motherfucker down in Miami. He ate the goldfish. I was there. It's like, it's a lot of those stories. And the people who know you, they're always going to hold you in that level of regard because they saw your struggle. Like the guys, like my wife, in the beginning, she probably thought I was a little, hey, like, I used to kind of be a big deal, come on, bro. It's over, right? But then you go to places with me or you go to shows. She went to a show with me. You realize, like, oh, the fucking person that everyone came to see seems to know this guy and is shouting him out from stage. Or we'll go somewhere and it's like, yo, man, I remember this. But my career was always invisible. I'm the last stop on the train before you get to delusional. That's the best way that I can describe like what my journey was. I'm the last, even at my very peak, the hottest I'll ever be, the hottest I was, which was 2015, right? I'm doing sold out one-man shows in Baltimore, back to back. Even in Baltimore, I'm like, if you go to my Taco Bell, they know. Like at my Taco Bell, they'll tell you I'm the nicest motherfucker in the world. The Taco Bell 3 miles that way, no clue who I am. And this is the town that I'm from. Right. At my peak, my career is still invisible. It's very much real, but you can't see it. The only time you can see it, like the Invisible Man, is when it rains or it snows. Then you can see his silhouette at South by Southwest, at A3C, at Core DJ events, at CMJ in New York. In those times and places, you'll watch big people, like the person you were there to see. Yo, Kane, did you finish that dude's tequila that night? And I'll go, oh, hold on, wait, no, I did not finish his tequila. I gave his tequila to a young lady, and she really liked it. And I was going to tell him thank you from her because she said the only thing he didn't do was get her number. So I think when this is all said and done, you fucking owe me an apology. And they were like, bro, how the fuck does he know you? And it's like, because we were drinking. Like, what do you mean? Did you hear the story? But that's the way my shit was. It's like they know me from being around. They know me from places and things and rap. And they know everyone knows I rap. But everyone's kind of waiting. No one, they don't grow up with you. So like no one's as invested in your career as you'll be. No one cares as much as you do. And even like, that's why headphones is weird, because he's like a dad that way. Like no one wants to see you succeed more than your dad. That's the only man in life that wants to see you do that much better than him. He was that way for me. Like he's like my big brother. So besides him, I mean, people are rooting for you, but no one wants to build a rocket ship. Everyone wants to go on a rocket ship ride, but no one wants to build a rocket ship. And if you think about your career like an elevator, you can construct your elevator for 10 years. I did. And then when it's all said and done, no one's going to run for the door until it looks like it's about to close. When that boom, boom, that's when, oh shit, it looks like it's Kane's time. And then they'll start coming. So I put out an album. I thought it would be great. My parents died in the making of the album. I didn't want to rap no more, because I'd lost so much. And I realized, yo, is that why people do drugs? And I start thinking this shit, and, you know, I'm like, this is why people do drugs. This is why people go crazy. Oh, I see now. This is why people get famous, and it becomes, yo, suck my dick. I don't owe nobody nothing. I get it now. Well, I don't want to become that. I don't even really want to be famous. I just want to make money and do raps. I don't see nothing that looks like that. I think I need a break. Then I need money. You know, you need money to fund this career. I got fired a few months back. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can go do this timeshare thing my cousin told me about in Florida, and I can make some money and I can come right back. And my producer knew I wasn't coming back before I even did. He was like, all right, man, you've done everything I asked you to do. Go ahead. And our deal was up, but we kept going on a handshake. And I went and I realized, oh shit, the last 2015, the last almost 10 years has been a blur. I don't have friends that aren't really rappers, because you live on the road. You can't, normal people don't understand you anymore. They think tour is vacation and your life is a series of pop champagne and loose women. Sometimes, but really it's a lot of lonely bus stations, no free time. You know, like I remember vividly, and if I'm going too long, let me know, but I remember vividly, I made a pizza. And it sounds so mundane, but I made a pizza. But I really, bro, I fucking made the shit out of this pizza. I made the dough. I made the dough, and I put like garlic butter on the crust, and I had all the fixings that I cut up a day before. I was so excited. And the pizza's in the oven, and I have Always Sunny on TV, and I was smoking hookah before it was fucking cool, frankly. And now everybody's out here just getting herpes. Mad disgusting. I don't know why they're doing that. And they smoke terrible flavors. I smoked alfalfa, and I was using coconut coals, and I had my own little burner, and Khalil Mahmood 4-footer, and I'm just in the crib with a big fancy hookah by my dolly, and I got a bar in my living room. Same bar that I use for records. It's over there now. I had stocked. I spent like a G a month stocking this thing because rap makes you drink. And I'm about to make a pizza and smoke a hookah and probably call something from Tinder and have a nice, I got an evening. Even if no one comes over, I'm happy. And my phone rings. And the pizza been in the oven about 20 minutes. Not enough to be done, but it's damn sure smells great in here. And he's like, bzz, bzz. Yo, what's up? And he's like, nothing, man. You on your way? Yeah, getting fucked up, eating this pizza. Yeah, 100%. It's like, you stupid. Yeah, I meant to say about the thing. Hey, wait, you joking? Nah, you home? Yeah, oh, come on, man. Come on, brother. Come on, good brother. Come on, man. With this bullshit again. Really? Come on, man. Seriously, you home? For real? Where am I? You supposed to be at? You got to go to S.O.B's, because that show is tonight. You got to go meet some tertiary motherfucker about some other thing that we need to get from another motherfucker. It's like a video game. You know, you need the Ajanti dagger, but you can't get the Ajanti dagger without the Scrolls of Windermere, which are held by the troll, and you got to get the thing to bribe the troll, but it's like Zelda. It's dumb. It's fucking retarded. So I'm always doing something. I never have time to just sit down and make a fucking pizza. And I'm like, that was tonight? it's like a Thursday, bro. I live in Baltimore, Maryland. New York is 4.5 hours one way. I rode Megabus so much they stopped charging me. So dead ass. They stopped. I rode Megabus for free, which now you hear me say it, I sound entitled. Well, then if you heard me complain about it, I sounded more entitled. But now I understand more of the blessing that I had just because I didn't have to ride Megabus for free. It would have. They probably saved me like 10 grand, 10, 15 grand worth of Megabus that I didn't have to spend because they just stopped charging me after a while. If I'm going to or coming from New York, free. Leaving DC 50% of the time and leaving Philly about the same, little less, maybe 25% of the time. And in that area. Now, if I'm going to Boston, fine. Coming back, I need a ticket because they don't know me up there. So, but I'm like, I gotta go. So I look at the clock. It's like 7:45. No, it was 6 something. It was like 7:45, whatever. But I didn't have a lot of time. I was at 7 or 8 o'clock bus. So it's like 7:30 or something. So I'm like, all right. I turn off the oven. I said, I'm on my way. He's like, all right, man. If you don't want to do this shit no more, just tell me. And I said, I'm on my way, yo. I turn off the TV. The house gets sad and like depressingly quiet. I put out the coals, dropped them into a teacup that I think I ended up cracking. Turned off the oven. I opened it. I looked in there. Got a half-done pizza. Can't eat it. The dough's still raw. So I just closed the oven. That'll be a piece of shit by the time I get back. Whatever. I can't leave it going. It'll cause a fire. So I go take a shower, get dressed, put on my rapper clothes. And then I go to the bus station, park my stupid beat up piece of shit Durango. I walk out. Yo, what's up? Nothing. Where you going? S.O.B's. What's the matter, man? I was going to make a pizza. And he goes, all of the pizzas you don't eat today are for the big steak dinner in the future. You got to remember that. I say, yeah, I know. And he goes, besides us, and he means like the Megabus crew. He said, besides us and your label and a couple friends, he's like, I'll be honest with you, Kane, you ain't really got a lot of friends. No one's ever going to see all of what you paid for it. And I realized in that moment, that's what it is. So I get on the bus, I go to New York, I go to S.O.B's, I meet the guy, do the thing. I gotta go to work the next day, so I gotta come right back, which means show's over, 1 o'clock in the morning. The morning bus don't leave till 6:13. 6:13 they start boarding, I think, or 6:30, 6:45. So you got from 1 to 6. They said, oh, the city that never sleeps. It goes to bed. Ain't nobody out but the devil and homelesses. So now you're sitting at Port Authority in that Dunkin' Donuts or just sitting outside at the bus station waiting. And you have no one to talk to except your doubt. There's no one to talk to except your doubt. And that's where you pay the price. Where you can prove to the gods of opportunity that you are deserving of the blessing of the next opportunity is when your doubt get a good 4-hour audience with you. And there's no interruptions. Who gonna talk to you? It's a fucking 2 in the morning on a Wednesday. Who's up? Nobody. So it's just, you're never gonna fucking make it. You're a fool. You're going nowhere. Look at so-and-so, way past you. They're all passing you. You're going backwards. So when you start making bad decisions, taking penitentiary chances and shit you got no business doing to make money to fund the next venture, because you hope at least if you pay a little more up front, it'll skip the process up a little bit. That's the world. So when I said it was over, I knew what being a rapper is. I know what that journey is like. Even on my worst day in Web3, it's still a walk in the park. So that's kind of the backstory on where I came from.
Cool. Thank you. I love the pizza anecdote, particularly.
I should make that tonight.
You should. I think I would love at this point, I think the Web3 journey is well worth exploring. And, as Kane alluded to at the beginning of the episode, I recently wrote a piece about his project, The Ides March, which is really, really cool. Really, really contextual, really deep. You can tell, as you said, you feel comfortable in nuance because there's a ton of nuance there, and I think it's particularly necessary. But I would love at this point to transition into part 2 of the conversation, when I ask you some more questions about how you listen to music.
Yeah.
And my first question is how you discover music, and if you could answer that through some of your favorite curators, your favorite outlets or platforms that you spend time with.
Sure. There's the number one way that I've found music that has been the best vein of musical gold that I've ever tapped into is in the passenger seat of my brother's car or truck or whatever he has at that time. Whenever I see my brother, I make an excuse for us to go somewhere. And it doesn't always work because he's not on to me, but he don't like doing shit he don't want to do. And he's way more logical than I am. I'm a silly goose to him. So when I'm like, hey, let's go to the store. And he's like, so go to the store. What do you need me to come for? I'm like, because it'd be fun. No, it wouldn't. What do you need from the store? Oh, I'm gonna get this. So go get it and come back. Like it's not always easy. The hard part is getting him in the car, and convincing him that he needs to drive. But sitting in the passenger seat of my brother's car is where I found Griselda, Lupe, bunch of stuff. People whose music taste I respect. My rap friends and I, we talk often. And the conversation is 90% rap. It's like, yeah, how's your kids? Great. Yo, have you heard this fucking record yet? Because let me tell you something. Have you heard this song? Because I've been meaning to talk to you about this record. And it's like, yo, I've been meaning to talk to you about this Rock Marciano Alchemist. Oh, yo, I ain't heard that yet. And it's like, bro, you just do me a favor. Listen to it, call me back. I can't even talk to you. Listen to it and call me back. And that's a real conversation, like with people who are equally, like, fan thrown around loosely. The attic is the part that the fan attic is where I live in the attic part of fan. So if you ain't a little crazy about the shit, how can I get excited?
Yeah.
So other addicts will, pardon me, will hey man, have you heard about this or have you heard about that? I don't really do pop culture as much. I find that the things that are very palatable there, Kendrick's an exception, but I find the things that are most palatable there really aren't for my kind of ears, because not that I believe that I listen to the right thing or the real thing, but I listen to the thing that's the most entertaining to me. Right. I like layers and nuance. I'm still decoding Lupe Fiasco's mural. So for people who make complex rhyme patterns, in that world, there is a hierarchy and there is a scoreboard. And we do rate, and it is critical. And no, you can't have a ghostwriter. And yeah, we need a lot of this to be based in reality. And it's very stringent. It's an upside down funnel. So whereas like in the regular thing, I listen to a little bit of everything, I don't listen to that, but I'm sure it's great. Yeah. Fuck all that. I listen to dope MCs. That's what I listen to. I listen to dope ass MCs. And someone's like, well, I think so-and-so's a dope MC. Oh yeah? What did he say? Well, I don't know the words. I was saying you should be quiet because we're talking about dope MCs. And if you don't know the words, how good could they be? Well, I don't listen to so you're not really a fan of anything. You didn't like it a little bit. That's fine. This is a black belt conversation. You should stay in the fucking yellow belt side of the fucking rap sphere. I don't even argue rap with people anymore. I'm a black belt barbershop argument champion. Like before the internet, you had to prove your shit in a barbershop with grown men yelling at you, and you had to defeat them all like a video, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And you're gonna go through the soda pop Pinsky with the drunk motherfucker. You got to go through all of it. I'm a 4-time black belt barbershop champ. I can't even put. I'm like, my hands are registered. I can't even fight you. Like you don't even believe in the shit you're talking about. You fuck out of here. So like, I'm only like, I just talked to a few guys about some UK rap, and they gave me a few names, and it's like, yo, it's gonna take me a little bit. And the guy goes, Mike, if it didn't take you a little bit, I wouldn't respect your opinion. And I was like, yeah, well, because you know, he's like, yeah, because you have to fucking listen. Yeah, I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna hear, and I might go look the lyrics up just to see, and I wanna be immersed in it, and I memorize it. So new music takes a while, and then when I find something I like, I gotta go forwards and backwards and then forwards again. So I got Brownsville Ka. Rest in peace to him, is right now, and at least for the last couple of years, has been my favorite MC. My favorite MC in the whole world. And I don't like saying my favorite, but he's been really good. So I'll listen to that. Like Spotify, and I don't use Spotify. I don't really use like streaming services like that. I mean, I'll make use of them. I'll use YouTube Music, and I'll use what used to be Google Play because I have an Android phone. But I don't like rely on suits to tell me what's dope. I'm from the mixtape era. So I just told someone this. Guys from my generation would make the best like mutual fund managers or hedge fund managers, because I had to individually look at assets and like weigh their, like I got $15. I can get a 2 for 12. I can get a 2 for 10. I can get a 3 for 15. Maybe I can get a discount. So let's just say I'm working with 3 mixtapes here, right? There's a fucking wall of shit that I ain't got. So now I have to take this DJ Clue and say, okay, well, the contents, this has the Fat Joe Firewater freestyle with Raekwon on it. This one does too, but it also has Cormega. Oh, I might have to go with this this Cutmaster C. Is there anything else on this? Hey, you got this Clue tape? Yeah, all right. So I'm a dub yours when I get home. Clue goes back. All right, now I got this K Slay here. Yo, I'm a new. You have to look. So in order to do that, you got to know what's going on. So I still listen to like freestyles, and I'll listen to, if someone has a Flex or a LA Leakers or a freestyle up, I'll go listen to that. Features, I still find people because of features. So I found Ka because he was on Rock Marciano's project. And I found Jid because he was on something else, and then one of my friends recommended Earth Gang. So like I found Raz Kids, Coast Contra, because of another freestyle that someone else had, and they were yelling Coast Contra, and I read comments. I'm a liner notes guy, so like the you have to find it yourself part of music never went away from me. So cool. That's where I find music at.
Cool, I love that. What is the, if you remember, the first album you ever purchased, and then what is the most recent? And that's a loose term. Album can be whatever, like a container of music.
The first rhyme I remember was Poor Righteous Teachers. Harvey Wallbanger met who? Mrs. Coathanger in the department of their apartment, or whatever that was. I remember that. That was from the same album with Rock This Funky Joint. It wasn't Holy Intellect. It might have been Holy Intellect. I loved Wise Intelligence. I still do. I think Wise Intelligence and a phenomenal MC never gets his credit. The first time I understood that I knew what I was listening to, because I was a kid, and I just thought that those words were funny. I did not know what Poor Righteous Teacher was talking about. Frankly, I didn't know what an Asiatic black man was, but I wanted to be one because Big Daddy Kane said he was one, and I thought Kane was the coolest guy on the whole planet. So if he's one, I want to be whatever that series of words means. Count me in, bro. I want to be down with Kane. But I remember it was Ice Cube Wicked, the single that came in a paper sleeve. It was black with like silver and tan lines around the edge. I could see it in my head. And it was me, my brother. I used to always steal my big brother's music. I'll go into his room and whatever he had, because I don't have no money. I'm a kid. So we wasn't rich. So my brother had money from his paper route, and he would go buy music. He bought comic books. I was into comic books. He was into hip hop. I was into hip hop. So I have whatever he has until I learned how to get my own. So I remember it was me, him, and a few of his friends sitting in the room listening to this, and he just got it. 1, 2, 3, and I come with the wicked. And I'm just like, and he's like, look at Chris in here bobbing his head like a little punk. And that was his exact words. I remember to this day. And I was just like, but he wasn't, that's normally followed by get out. But it wasn't. And rap and me, like, I could stay. So now I can stay because I know this song. And I don't know, man. It's like, it's a way it was a me and my brother thing, but also like that. And then I remember rapping "My Name Is D Nice" into a fucking hairbrush. And then one more thing. And I thought Smooth B from Nice and Smooth was the greatest, like the most, because he didn't rap very quickly. So, and he wasn't, for someone who talks not fast, he wasn't very straightforward with the way he talks. So it was like, Smooth B, notorious, glorious, knowledge is infinite. I live in a fortress. And I'm like, I want to live in a fortress. I'm so astronomical. On a spiritual plane, my body's just a shell and control is my brain. And I'm like, I understand that. Yeah, I get that. I want to live in a fortress also, Smooth B. This guy's speaking my language. So that was like, rap as a spoken form of communication hits different than guitar riffs. That's why a lot of guys who will listen to like rock, metal, when they're listening, you see them start air guitar. Air guitar is the rapping along with the song. And that's it's an interesting thing about the genres. But anyway, so the last album I bought with my monies was The Thief Next to Jesus, Brownsville Ka. Didn't even have the money. Sold some crypto. Had to have it. A bunch of my friends that, I evangelize the hip hop. So a bunch of my friends who knew I loved Ka and know that sometimes I'm busy hit me up the day that album came out, and 2 of them sent me, because they, it's a digital off his website, digital download. So they had the download, they paid for it, they sent it to me. And she said, yo, I got the God album here. And the other one said, listen, I know you're probably going to buy this yourself, but until you do, in case you're okay with it, here.
Wow.
I looked at both of them. I deleted, because it was in Telegram, I deleted both of the fucking files on both of the messages. And I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to go purchase it. And I went right to his website and I moved some crypto around and I bought The Thief Next to Jesus, because I don't steal rap.
So like 3 sales came out of that for you. I mean, assuming they bought the records.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Nice. Well done. I appreciate that. I respect that. Okay, my next question for you. 3 artists of note that you heard for the first time in the past year or so.
JID. I'm going to say JID. I don't think it's fair to, I'm going to say Mickey Fax, even though it's unfair. I knew of Mickey Fax prior, but I didn't go back and listen to The Wraith until I found myself on one of those, because I saw the back and forth shit when it was happening. And I was just like, whatever. I like Royce, but that probably ain't gonna work for you. And it was just, it's like 2 different styles. They shouldn't fight. North Star and Southern Cross should never fight. And I knew Mickey Fax responded, but I ain't listened to that shit. I was like, whatever. And then I listened to it and I said, oh shit. He literally rapped as him, then turned into RJ Payne, then turned into Ransom, then turned into Royce to just Royce, that's some Shang Tsung shit. That's like when you were fighting his son in Tekken, and he does all the monkey style and shit. Watching him shift through styles effortlessly, crazy. And the third one, don't have one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't. It's not like it's not that anyone has to struggle or fight to be on my favorite list or whatever, but we don't take members off. You know, we don't open up this. It's like the mafia, nigga. We don't just everyone is. I have to listen to a bunch of your stuff because as suspicious as it may sound for someone who talks like me, I think that hyperbole is a bad thing when we're talking about music description. So when someone says, yo, so-and-so is nice, I use that word for Ghostface. So if I give this to your friend from New Jersey, wherever the fuck he's from, so is he Ghostface, or do I have to find another word? Because what do I use for Black Thought? If your friend, some guy you went to college with, is nice, and they're like, well, I think he's nice, I don't think you're entitled to your opinion. People say that, but everyone's entitled to it. Not fucking really. This ain't quality of song or how much it touches your heartstrings. We're talking lyrical proficiency here. That's the thing we can measure. So because it's measured in literary devices, metaphors, similes, other things that are unique to the genre, holding the pattern. Homeboy Sandman's famous for that. Like there's shit we can judge over here. I am stupid. So I guess when no one's around, am entitled to my opinion on astrophysics. But I'm also retarded. I think the moon's made of cheese, all kinds of stupid shit. I think there's bases on the dark side of it. I got a lot of conspiracy theory. I watch a lot of YouTube. So in the presence of an astrophysicist, I should, as the French say, let's shut the fuck up. And I do.
Yeah.
So comes to rap, no. Like, yeah, so there's enough rap to where when I feel unsatisfied with the quality of what I'm finding readily available, I've got a whole catalog of it to go back and thoroughly enjoy. There's a poster on my wall right there with, Illmatic and Kill It Will and Iron Man and Stakes is High and Intelligent Hoodlum and, like on my wall right there. I have a great music. This is vinyl right behind me. Like I'm a music person, so I'm never at a lack of anything. I live it abundantly. Just because I've heard the infamous before doesn't mean I won't listen to it again and again and again after that. So it's not like I'm ever bored. Yeah, I would have a hard time telling you my 10 favorite rappers because that would force me to really exclude large sections of things that I consider. Like, hey, tell me your favorite Bible verse, and we're going to burn the rest of the book. I hate those experiments. I love Mobb Deep, and I love De La Soul, and I don't want to live in a world where I have to choose. I love, Tragedy Gaddafi, and I love Cormega, and I love HNIC, but not as much part 2, but really part 1. And if an artist gives me something, like if you give me a thing, like an example, you wrote that article about me. People don't do nice things like that for me very often. I'm going to remember you did that probably forever. Doesn't really matter. Hey, go through some turmoil where you're socially unpopular. Watch how I hold you right next to me. Hey, fuck you guys. Mac Egan's great. Motherfucker wrote a nice article about me when no one gave a shit. Because I remember the same thing translates to music. I don't care about Mobb Deep's last album like that. They made The Infamous and Hell on Earth and Murder Music and half of American Nightmare. That's more than most people have ever given you. So they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want forever. They can make 10 albums I hate, and I'll buy every one of them. That's the covenant. You did this thing for me when no one else did. Raekwon made the Purple Tape. and a mobilarity. And the purple tape too, which besides its title, I loved. Could have called it anything else. He could have called it Raekwon's trip to the goddamn Dave and Buster's. I would have loved it just as much. And just putting the purple tape, only built for Cuban Links 2 on it. I didn't much care for that. But Raekwon is free to do whatever he wants. I'm not. I don't like picture. I had an argument on Clubhouse. These guys are regular people, man. They go to the grocery store. And I just said, I'll blow this fucking room up if you ever insinuate that Raekwon, the chef, goes to the fucking grocery store. I'll blow this room up right now. I'll end it. There's like 90 people in there. I'll end the room right now. And they were like, no, you won't. And they like everyone. No, he will. He will. Don't talk about Raekwon. It's like his uncle or something. Just don't do it. And I'm like, yo, now say he doesn't go to the grocery store because he doesn't. That's not realistic. It's not normal. That's the addict part of fan.
Yeah.
Because Raekwon raps in such a way that it's close. So Raekwon and Ghost are Hemingway and Shakespeare. How Shakespeare will elaborately describe and use different devices to, the octopus inside of her pantaloon. The tentacles reached out to Gray. He'll do that. That's what Ghostface does. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it does. Raekwon describes everything in the room, from the creaking floorboard, the hinge, everything in the room is describable, and he like eats the scenery like a classically trained actor. And it doesn't sound that way to people who don't listen to all of it, I know, but that sneaker stay spray, still niggas is toast, 4 in his pocket, a diamond up chain of some coke, champion hood, the goodies in the brown bag by the radiator, near the cookies and the bundles of dope, fish scaler. I live in elevators and gross all this paper, profit maker later in post with them Adidas that Bruce wore, stay in the juice bar. All I know, if you saw me, you thought it was broke black. Yo, I've been hustling, some niggas was busting guns and scuffling and jumping niggas over some coats. That's not even 2 seconds. It's like he slowed the film down and describes everything you can see in the scene as it's moving.
Yeah.
But it's moving really slowly. It's when you are as close to it as I'm saying that how I am is how you should be, but when you get this close to that kind of music, the artist takes on more of they're not regular people to me. I don't even want to. I met some of them. I don't need to meet them. Reality can't match what I've done up here. So it's not that I don't want to meet them, but they've provided. I get from rap what people with big glasses get out of big books with no pictures.
I love that. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know what it means to be that close to music. I don't know if you're gonna like this next question.
I like all your questions.
Oh, thanks. But it's you said you don't think you could choose your top 10 rappers, but I'm gonna ask you to pick your top 3 desert island records.
Desert Island? Oh, if I'm on a desert, I thought it was a record label.
No, cool. Yes, you're going to a deserted island. You get to bring 3 records with you. What are they?
Cuban Link. Orpheus versus the Sirens. And I'm going to cheat and say that 25th anniversary Mobb Deep special edition of the Infamous, where it had all them extra records. It was like 25 records. I'll use that one as a buffer, but I don't feel good about the list.
Yeah, I mean, few do at the end of it. It's an impossible question, but the point is to see what comes up from the gut in the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be Wu-Tang, Khan, Mobb Deep. Like, it's gonna be that, because that's right around where I'm at. I mean, I'd love if there was like a best of or something mixtape I just fucking grab on top of the head, but that'd be way better. But yeah, that's yeah. I'm not gonna feel great about it. Yeah, I don't. You're right. I don't. It's like
once you start to overthink it, all of the music starts to come up, and then you just got to turn your brain off.
I'm gonna cut all 10 of your fingers off. Which 3 you want to keep?
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
There's no ideal answer to that question. It's like I guess I can do one of no. This is better than well. But then I have nothing on this hand. So how do I? Well, so maybe if I keep a pointer, and I got this, I can. This is probably the best.
It might be the best answer.
This is not ideal. You know what I'm saying? None of this feels good. It's like, yeah, but my hands are mutilated forever. I fucking hate this question. Yeah, you're right. I do hate it. I hate that question. I'm gonna cut. But next time you ask the question, I'm gonna cut all 10 of your fingers off. Which 3 you want to keep?
Okay.
And then ask the question. Now they're primed up for it. You got to prime the pump.
All right. Well, I'm never asking that question to you again. Then.
What else you got?
You know. That was the big one. I saved it for last. So that is about it. The last question I have for you is for people listening who want to check out your stuff, all the projects you got going on, your music, your ideas, your thoughts. Where's the best place for them to do
that? KaneMayfield.com. I have a website. We're still adding stuff to it, and I really need to add a link for inscribed audio to start sending people over there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have. The funny thing is that there's no way to buy any of my music on my website because I'm old and I'm folksy and I'm probably stupid. So I think your website should be a place where people come to learn about you. So I have all these like videos I recorded when I was out in California of me like talking. My buddy Tim, who I gotta call him later today. Funny, he's older gentleman, plays a lot of tennis, and he's very good at getting me to do shit. Between him and Skrilla, you ever want me to do something, you get Tim and Skrilla on board, and sure enough, I'm down because he's hey, I got this idea. I think that you should, and he just has some shit that he thinks I should do. That's probably going to be impossible, but it works. But he's like, I love the way you talk. You have these Kaneisms. And I was like, fuck's a Kaneism? And he's like, you'll see. Come out to California. And I was like, that sounds like a threat. But I flew out there, and he basically put me on stage with my buddy Easy and Crypto, and he just had us talk. But, you know, I did a lot of talking, obviously. But, you know, you can see I just fucking talk. So I just talked. And it wasn't even like there were questions. It was just the space. And every now and again, he would, I think, maybe text Easy, and Easy would look at his phone and go, well, what about blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, see, it's funny you bring that up. See, what I'm thinking is, and it's just that. But we chopped it into small, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just little pieces. And he called it Kaneism. So those are on my site. But I love, I would love if, I don't know the way that people should find me in Web3, because I don't know how people should find. I don't think that it's just the music. I think that the music by itself is one part of it, and the rest of it is the art and the crypto and the tech. So what's the best way for people to find that stuff? So I'm on like 8 chains. So wherever you are, I'm probably there. So I'd say, look for me where you look for stuff. And if you don't find me there, hit me and tell me why I should be there. And I'm sure enough to show up.
I like that answer. And last question for you. Now that you've been on the show, who's another music head that comes to mind that we should invite? Skrilla. Easy.
Skrilla and DJ Booman.
All right.
Yeah, especially DJ Booman. DJ Booman made Watch Out for the Big Girls. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for the big girls. Watch out. He made that.
All right. DJ Booman.
Lizzo used that for her show. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's such a big time. He's a Baltimore music legend, but Skrilla is another person, and like part of that whole my rap journey. Right. Skrilla and Sketch took me on tour with them. Like, they didn't have to do that. It's super nice. Like, really, really great guy. That's why I owe him so much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember when we connected. Yeah, Skrilla was a main character. The first, time you told me your story.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Well, that is all I've got, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I really enjoyed chatting with you. Love hearing your stories, and yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. How?
Thanks everyone for being here. That is a wrap on another episode of For the Record, a conversation series with all manner of music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. It's a production of Grey Matter and the new Crate Coalition experiment in building connected listening graphs. We stamp every music mention that you heard here, from the names of musicians to DJs to journalists to venue owners. And in the background, we're mapping these names to form those yet unseen connective threads between them. Want to get involved? Check out our website, graymatter.fm. It's gray with an E. Or you can come hang out in the Crate Coalition Discord. We'll see you next time.